Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is teacher Iman Al-Khalidi explaining some ways of counting, which are permutations and combinations. Let's see the difference between them. First of all, in permutations, we are going to see that the order matters. And it means it is the number of choosing our things from in things with order. And in combination, we can see that order doesn't matter. That means it is a number of selecting our things from in things without an order. Now, we can use the first letter of permutation, which is P, to make a rule including factorial. So we can make a relation now with factorial with permutation. That means we can write in permutation R will be equals to n factorial divided by n minus R factorial, which is the difference between up and down. Similar in combination. We can have in combination R equals to n factorial divided by R factorial multiplied by the difference between up and down, which is n minus R factorial. We can see that we can write factorial in different way. Like, for example, these ways. Permutation also can be written as n and R, like this, or n permutation R, or permutation and the bracket including n and R. Combination can be written in different ways, like n combination R, or n combination R, or n or combination open a bracket including n and R. Or we can have it as that larger bracket including n up and R down without anything between them. And we can read them all in combination R. And always we have to focus on the values of n and R. Always n should be like this, belongs to natural star, or we can say that Z positive. That means it can start from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and go on. But R belongs to natural. That means it can be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. No decimals, no fractions at all, no negatives, no negative values. And also we have to focus on the value of R is smaller always or equal to the value of n. It can't be more. Now, let's go to the relation of permutation and combination and factorial. We can discuss it in this nice triangle, including here up n permutation R, and in this box including n combination R times R factorial. So if you want to find, for example, n permutation R and divided by n combination R, you will get finally R factorial, which is here. And if you want to find n permutation R divided by R factorial, you can get n combination R, like this. These together also, you can divide them to get this one. And go on. And if you want to find, for example, this n permutation R, you can multiply n combination R with R factorial. These all can be done with this triangle. Now, let's think about the different and similar between them all. Like this exactly. If you would like to think about n permutation n that will give you n factorial by proving it by this rule, the factorial rule, by doing n permutation n equals n factorial divided by the difference between up and down, and that will give you 0 down, and here n factorial divided by 0 factorial, which is 1, will give you n factorial. It's proved now. The second, n permutation n minus 1 will give you, after expanding it by using factorial rule, you will get up n factorial divided by n, which is up, minus that down. And down you have n minus 1. So you are going to let the minus get into the first n, then get into minus 1 to make it plus 1. Because negative by negative is positive. This all is still inside factorial. We can cancel this n with n, and finally you will have n factorial divided by what? Which is n factorial. In the next, we are going to have n combination n including. n permutation n as usual divided by n factorial, which is coming from the factorial rule. Here from up, we can have n factorial from rule number 1, and that will be divided by itself, and that will give you 1. So I can see that they are different. Here and there, they are different. Watch this. This is n factorial, and this is 1. For n combination n and n permutation n. Let's do the last, which is n combination n minus 1 will give you n permutation n minus 1 divided by n minus 1 all factorial equals, according to rule number 2, we're going to say it is n factorial divided by n minus 1 factorial. If you want to expand the biggest, you will get from up the first factor, which is n, without factorial, then reduce it by 1 and keep the factorial with it. And that all will stay or will be cancelled with n minus 1 factorial. Now you can cancel up and down like this exactly. And you will get n alone. And this is what you have exactly here. So you can see that you have different also between n combination n minus 1, which is going to give you n, and n permutation n minus 1, which will give you n factorial. So they are different completely. Now let's discuss the similarity between them, which can be easily like this. Here, similar things. If we are going to discuss n permutation 1, you can use the factorial rule by writing n factorial up and subtract n minus r, which is 1 now, all factorial, by expanding the biggest n, then n minus 1 up, keep the factorial divided by the same factorial down, and that will be cancelled easily, like this. And you can get n finally. Now, in the other side, we can have n combination 1, which is n permutation 1 divided by 1 factorial, which according to rule number 3, here, we can see that it is n up divided by 1, which is n. Here in rule number 4, we can see that n permutation 0 will be n factorial divided by their difference up and down, and that will give you, after subtracting n minus 0, n factorial divided by n factorial, which is 1. And here in combination 0, by using the permutation for n permutation 0 over 0 factorial, according to rule number 4, we can see that we can write 1 up divided by 1 down, and that will make it 1. So you can see the similarity between n permutation 1, which is n, and n combination 1, which is n. n permutation 0, which is 1, and n combination 0, which is 1. And here, let's go to the next, which is ratio of consecutive r. What do we mean by consecutive? We meant that they are after each other. They are after each other, bigger or smaller. And we're gonna focus on n to be the same. For example, in this ratio, we are going to label them. And right here, number 1. We can see that if we want to divide n permutation r divided by n permutation r minus 1, these two dots means division. You will get, after proving them, like this. N permutation r divided by n permutation r minus 1, you can get it from up n factorial divided by n minus r factorial. That all will be divided by, like this, the same down, n factorial divided by n minus r minus minus will be plus. And that all will stay with the factorial. Now we can continue by cancelling the common factors up and down. And we can switch from down to up like this. This goes up and this become here. And that will give you n minus r plus 1, which is the biggest. And I can expand it also to be n minus r plus 1 and then n minus r factorial divided by n minus r factorial. Now we can cancel them easily like this to get n minus r plus 1, which is your rule now. So this is what we get, n minus r plus 1. If you want to prove the other one, you are going to say n combination r divided by n combination r minus 1 by using permutation like this, n permutation r divided by r factorial, that all divided by n permutation r minus 1, all divided by r minus 1 factorial. You can take closest with the closest like this, multiply them together, and farthest together, and that will give you finally, you will have up n permutation r multiplied by r minus 1 factorial divided by n permutation r minus 1 multiplied by r factorial. You can see that from these two, we did it before in rule number 1, which will give you n minus r plus 1, like this. N minus r plus 1. And in the other side, which is including r minus 1 and which is including r minus 1 and r factorial, you can expand the biggest, which is r, to be easily r here, open a bracket, including r minus 1 with the factorial, and that will be cancelled up and down like this. This one will be cancelled with this one. So what is left down, you will have r alone. And this is what we proved here exactly. N minus r plus 1 over r. So it is the same as this, but the new thing that you're going to divide by r. Thank you for listening.